I'll be refuting the negative claim on Nafta. First, they claim that Nafta is better economically than the EU, and then they said that U.S. has NAFTA in the U.S. has the GDP of $15.4 million, but as a whole, the European Union has a much higher GDP, ranking #1 in the world with $16.5 trillion. Negative also claimed that consumers enjoy lower prices because of NAFTA, but this is a result of the cheap influx of imports coming in from Mexico and Canada, and also results in Americans losing their jobs. The increase in jobs was not necessarily because of NAFTA, as my partner said. It could have been other factors, an economic boom during the 90s. They also did not mention jobs lost as a result of imports and the trade deficit. A trade deficit happens when imports exceed the number of exports. The negative also claimed that Mexican farmers are getting help from a special program that helps basically give them money if they are suffering from a deficit. But this program doesn't help workers that aren't farmers, right? So these workers that aren't farmers have to work in these maquiladoras, these factories in Mexico, for low pay and poor working conditions. And the negative claimed that the maquiladoras were a program. The maquiladoras aren't a program. They're just factories built in Mexico by U.S. corporations. It doesn't even matter if they're called maquiladoras. They're just simply these factories that take advantage of the Mexican workers. And NAFTA did not create these factories, but they allowed corporations to implement them in Mexico. And Mexican workers working in maquiladoras work for low pay and poor conditions. According to socialistworker.org, the wages paid by the multinationals do not begin to make up for these conditions, since maquiladora owners pay the lowest possible amount. Average pay for a 60-hour week in these factories is 400 to 500 pesos, which is about $40 or $50. And women and children often make much less. And in response to their claim on the environment, and that he said that the governments or these countries, or NAFTA doesn't have to be specifically responsible for regulating implementing regulations in regards to the environment, but the governments and countries are less inclined to enforce these environmental policies because of Chapter 11 in NAFTA, which I explained earlier, that corporations can sue governments if they feel that they're losing out on profit. So if they wanted to put a factory in Mexico and the government said, oh, you can't do this because we have certain environmental restrictions, then that company could sue the government, and which makes it so that these governments and the country, so especially Mexico, are less inclined to enforce these policies. So overall, the U.S. should withdraw from NAFTA, and this would help both the U.S. and Mexico.